We've been discussing strategies for um, spouses who have gotten requests for divorces, and the main strategy we're discussing right now is checking the attribute of chesed, checking in with yourself. If your chesed, if your kindness has Christian underpinnings, are you um, following the golden rule, which is don't do unto others that which you don't want done to yourself? Is your motivation behind your kindness that you want to have a better life? And if it is, then you should rethink it because this is what Chazal say, Chesed Chadas. While it is wonderful for our Christian brethren, and we all encourage them to make the world the best place they can because it's so stressing for us when they cause us pain, death, destruction. But for ourselves, this is not what Hashem wants. This is not Hashem is not happy with for Jews to have Christian kindness, and therefore we should do our best to emulate Hashem and His chesed. So I'm going to slip now into a little bit of Kabbalistic thinking, not too much, just a little bit, just to conclude with this three-part series as we approach the Yontif of Shvias Pesach, and to understand what um, is expected of us. To understand what is expected of us and vis-a-vis the attribute of chesed. We've been working on it for almost a week now, and after Yontif is finished, we'll already be moving on to the next midah attribute, which is gvura, which is the other end of the scale. Chesed is on the right, kindness, and gvura is on the left of raw strength and din, judgment. But chesed, in a pure state, is dangerous. Just like anything in a pure state is dangerous, everything has to be refined and balanced. And if we um, if we go straight chesed, as Avraham Avinu did, for Avraham Avinu it was right. He was a merkava for chesed. He was a chariot, as a word for the attribute of chesed. But for ourselves, we have to be careful because we're not Avraham Avinu. We should emulate Avraham Avinu in his actions. But even Avraham Avinu, we find, and we're allowed to say this because Chazal have told us this, and I see Rav Moshe Feinstein made such a comment as well, that Avraham Avinu had a child, Yishmael. Right now, it wasn't with Sarah, it was with Hagar. But Yishmael represents chesed unbridled. Just like it's well known that the Arabs are very strong in Aknas Orchem. But another chesed they do is they blow themselves up, killing Jews. Or as we saw yesterday, 2 days ago, it's about rocks and buses. And they mean well. They mean well. They want to follow how they understand the Quran, which is to get rid of the Jews from um, Jewish presence in Eretz Israel, or whatever it says there. I'm not so erudite in that particular book of the Quran, but it's Chesed which is unbridled, and this is why we have 7 days working on Chesed, because the first day of Chesed is just pure Chesed, Chesed Shebechesed. The second day we already try to say sometimes Chesed needs din. For example, if your kids ask you for sweets, and they're good kids, even if they're not good kids, you should give them some sweets. Rav Shimshon Pincus, I remember at his house, he was very generous on Shabbos for sweets. But if you give them too many sweets, they'll become spoiled. The dentist will have a lot of work to do, and they'll become spoiled. So you should be careful. Give them sweets and be generous, but it should be, and that's called chesed gvur shebechesed. Tiferes is to balance the two, not to be too much to the right and not to be too much to the left, but to get that right, to hit that point, that middle ground of chesed. And then Netzach and Hod are very interesting attributes. From what I understand, I believe I saw this from Chaim Freelander, who is the put out many of the Sfarim with the Ramchal. He writes an introduction to one of the Sfarim. I think it's Sefer Klolim, that Netzach is the Gvura of Chesed, and Hod is the Chesed of Gvura, right? Netzach on the right side. It's bringing the attribute of, it's refining the Chesed with Gvura, and Hod is refining the Gvura with Chesed. And then Yisod is bringing it down, is channeling it down to the world, and Malchus is the manifestation of these midas. So, in order to perfect our Chesed, to turn it from Chesed Lumim Chatas, golden rule Chesed, of do unto others because we want to do to ourselves, which is not the Jewish outlook. In order to transform our chesed from being chesed l'mumchatas to being the real chesed, which is Jewish chesed, the 7-step process, right? Which we've been going through during this week. Chesed shebechesed, chesed shebegvura, tferes of chesed, and then netzachod, yisod, and malchus. And to perfect our chesed, and to really understand, it starts really though by analyzing our actions. If you're not a person who doesn't know about bugs in lettuce, then you could look at your lettuce and say, there's no bugs in my lettuce. Lettuce is bug free. But then, like when you get one of these special tables that have been, and you put it down and you say, wow, it's full of bugs. In other words, looking at things from a distance, you can not see what's really going on. But then, if you like focus in, if you focus in and you understand that real, if you look at yourself clearly, you'll see like there's a lot of bugs there, and you really have to work yourself. This is really so important with chesed that we can easily fool ourselves into thinking that we're Bali chesed, especially the men. They're really good at that thinking. Like I do so many nice things for my wife. I bought her a Yontif gift, and I learned Torah. She gets Tchias HaMesa because of that, and I daven, and I bring home Parnasa, maybe. Whatever I might do, I say nice things to her when she doesn't burn the cholent. I give her a compliment. The men might feel really good about how wonderful husbands they are, when they really might be terrible husbands. They might be completely self-centered and doing chesed only because they want to have a good life, a good family, peaceful coexistence. All things which are not Jewish chesed. That's the golden rule chesed, Christian kindness, and to be avoided if possible. Um, it's a start, but it's not where we're meant to be. And this is why we have Spheres Homer. This is why we have these days. This is what we're meant to be doing these days, is to hold our lives, to analyze our actions under a fine tooth comb. To comb them, like, just like with that fine tooth comb, you get the lice out and you get the small knots out. Hashem wants us to hold our lives up, against this fine tooth comb, against this light backdrop, this bug checking table, and look at ourselves and say, wow, I think I'm a really good guy, but really there's a lot to work on. Maybe my chesed is completely driven by my stomach or even my mind. I want to have a peaceful life. And that's why I'm doing chesed. Hashem doesn't want that. It's nice to have a peaceful life, and it's nice to own at your head. Um, as some husbands report back, that they get pots thrown at them at times. But before you think that your wife is mentally insane or your husband, before you call up the police or the psychiatrist, check yourself and see perhaps maybe there's what to work on. Maybe your chesed is self-centered. Maybe you're a self-centered person. Maybe even though you think you're a great guy or a great woman, and you probably are. Ame kula tzaddikim, but it's potential. We have to actualize it. As Rabbi Dr. Avram Tversky Zatzal said, right? Nasa Adam B'Tzalmeno means let us make man. We have to create ourselves, and the Vilna Gaon calls this the Adam Hanelam. Adam Hanelam, of course, the Pasuk in Mishlei, where it says Ish 3 times. He says the third Ish is the Adam Hanelam. It's the potential you that exists that we could bring out, and it only comes out when we analyze ourselves and our actions. This is called Musar. We analyze ourselves and our action. We realize that we have what to do. especially in the realm of chesed. That's why we have 7 days of working on chesed. 7 is how long it takes to internalize. That's why we have 7 days of Avelis, 7 days of Sheva Brachas. It takes 7 days to really internalize something, and then we have 7 weeks for these 7 meters. These are very, very special days. Ramban calls them like Cholamoyeds, these 7 weeks. 7 weeks of Sfiras Homer, working on ourselves and perfecting ourselves, and trying to touch on this very, very special um, attributes that the Torah has given us, directed us to emulate a Kodesh Baruch Hu, the 7 lower spheres of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, and Nesach. So Hashem should give us the greatest Siyata D'Shmaya, because it's such an important endeavor, and we can be so successful if we put our minds to it, and we really work on perfecting our Chesed. And we all want to do it. We all want to be good husbands and wives. We just might not know how to, right? And the way we start, is by analyzing ourselves and remembering what Shakespeare said. The fault is not in the stars, it's in ourselves. If we start by blaming ourselves, looking into ourselves, now, again, if you're in a difficult marriage and you're getting abused, speak to a Rav. The right thing might be to get out. But before you do that, I'm just suggesting look at yourself. Take that table of light and put yourself on the table and analyze your chesed, right? Or is your chesed selfish, self-centered? Is it because you want to have a better life? Or is it in fact because you want to emulate Hashem and His goodness and all the wonderful things He does every single second? I can't even say that. Hashem is so infinitely kind. Everything about Hashem is good. Taiv Yatzar Kavod L'Shmai. Because Baruch Hu created honor for His name, because just to emulate and think about Him is such an incredible privilege that we have as Jews. It's been revealed to us the truth, and we should try and live and emulate His greatness. Hashem should help us with this worthy endeavor. Of course, tefillah is extremely, extremely beneficial, and I give my humble bracha to everyone who has taken the time to watch this shir and the other shir. They should have atzlacha in this endeavor. Siyata Shmaya. Hashem should help us all to get to the right point of Chesed, main cadence.